If you recall, in the preface, I mentioned that I'd be back with the credits. Here, I'll list all of the places where I accumulated video clips and pictures, text, and information across books, websites, papers, and broadcast media. All the stuff I used to put together How Far Away Is It? But even more important, I'll spend a few minutes talking about the key books and websites that guided the development of the video book. These will be the places where you can do additional research into areas of astronomy touched on in this video book. After the credit roll, I'll give you my final thoughts. The two primary websites I use for the Hubble images, data, and video clips are hubblesite.org and spacetelescope.org. The Hubble telescope is a joint NASA and European Space Agency project. Hubble Site is the NASA website, and Space Telescope is the ESA website. You can search for any object at either site by the name I included on the picture in the video book. I only used a fraction of what is available here. There are thousands of spectacular photographs, and each one comes with a wealth of information about the objects seen, methods used, and implications for our knowledge of the universe. If you are at all interested in learning more about the Hubble Space Telescope's discoveries, these sites are the place to start. I used the Caltech Spitzer website for the Spitzer Space Telescope infrared images and the Harvard Chandra website for all the Chandra X-ray Space Observatory images. These are wonderful sites for additional research on how new knowledge is being created through discoveries in the extended electromagnetic spectrum. The JPL Caltech website has a wealth of information about the solar system. Our segment on the solar system is populated with pictures from this site. The Goddard Space Flight Center runs a large number of orbiting space satellites, including the sentinels of the solar system. You can see the full video here. In addition, Goddard operates the new Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope. If your research takes you closer to the solar system than the cosmos, then these two websites are the place to go. The ESA Science website and the European Space Organization's Very Large Telescope website are invaluable sources of information and deep space images. I use these sites for a number of fantastic photos, primarily in the Milky Way segment. Also, take a look at the Hubble archive. It has the instructions for going straight to Hubble's raw image database. You can see just what the astronomer sees before the astrophotography techniques are applied. This is where I picked up the Planetary Nebula NGC 2818 photos. The next generation space telescopes have their websites up and running now. The next generation discoveries will be published here. The Sloan Digital Sky Survey provides tools to explore over 80 million galaxies, with guides to help users learn how to use these tools. There are projects appropriate for learners ranging from kids to college students interested in learning about the universe, and instructor guides for teachers interested in using the projects with their students in the classroom. Your participation in these projects actually helps scientists understand the universe, as people are much better than computers at sorting the millions of images of galaxies collected by the survey. You could even be the first person to ever see one of these galaxies. For information on the cosmic distance ladder and physics in general, there's no better place than Georgia State University's website. The Atlas of the Universe was my top source for galaxy clusters and superclusters in the Virgo supercluster and local superclusters segments. Astronomer David Darling's Encyclopedia of Science is also an excellent source of information. Then there are the wonderful astrophotographers. I used Rogelio Benal Andreo's award-winning photographs. I used Anthony Amamentist's fantastic astrophotography, Christopher Picking's beautiful astrophotography, and pictures from Tony Darnell's excellent website. I used two books extensively. The first was Brian Cox and Andrew Cohen's book, Wonders of the Universe. It pointed me to all the interesting areas to focus on. I don't think I overlooked a single item in the book that was connected to the cosmic distance ladder. The book itself goes into a wide variety of astronomical subjects. I highly recommend reading this book and or seeing the BBC series, Wonders of the Universe, narrated by Brian Cox himself. It is an excellent update for anyone who has seen the older Cosmos series done by Carl Sagan. The second book was George Abel's second edition of Exploration of the Universe, published in 1969. This was my lower division astronomy textbook. I'm glad I saved it all these years. I use this book for all the fundamental information about parallax, the solar system, stars, nebula, galaxies, etc. You may recognize the name Abel. George Abel was the astronomer who cataloged all the star clusters we examined in our sections on the Virgo supercluster and the local superclusters. His work on this book, Exploration of the Universe, was so good that others have taken up the task to keep it alive. Today, you can get the 9th edition. If you want to get serious about astronomy, this is the book for you. We'll end with a list of Hubble's photos, websites, video clips, books, papers, and music that were all part of this video book, How Far Away Is It? Now here are the rest of the credits. Feel free to send comments to howfarawayisit@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. Well, that's a wrap, except for one last thing. If you recall in the preface, I said I had built this video book to bring those that I cared about up to speed on what we've learned while I wasn't looking. But on reflection, when I think about all that we've discovered and all that we have yet to discover, my thoughts turn to my grandchildren. And I'm reminded of Louis Armstrong's song. I watch my grandchildren smile. I see them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.